That night, I found myself lying there with my eyes closed, suspended in a realm that danced between slumber and consciousness. In the quietude, as a gentle wind danced with the curtains, the door slowly whispered open. Without raising my gaze, I whispered, "Dale, could that be you?" Yet the voice that responded was not Dale's. In a soft, almost uncertain voice, Oliver shared his words, "Rest eludes me." As I blinked awake, my gaze fell upon the shadowy figure framed in the doorway. The soft glow of the moon cascaded over his shoulder, gently illuminating his features. Words escaped me. His arrival at my room at this hour caught me completely off guard. "Is that you, Oliver? Is there a problem?" I inquired gently. My voice carried a hint of astonishment. "No, I'm uncertain. I just can't find rest," he murmured as he entered the room. As he drew nearer, I propped myself up in bed, wrapping the blankets snugly around me. "What would you like me to share with you? Would you like me to fetch you some water?" He gently shook his head, as if a tale of disbelief was unfolding in his mind. "No, I wanted to share some thoughts. If I'm not intruding on your time?" His voice carried a palpable tension, a weight that enveloped the space around him. "You're not a bother," I assured, even as uncertainty lingered in my voice. "But at this moment, is there a tale brewing in your mind?" He shrugged, his gaze flickering to mine for just a heartbeat before it dropped to the floor. "I'm unsure. At times, it seems as though there are countless eyes upon me, all anticipating something in return. University, my father, all the people around. Yet, in your presence, I sense a freedom from that weight." His words resonated deeply within me. As I pondered the situation, I adjusted my position and placed my hand gently on the edge of the bed. "Gather around," I beckoned with a natural ease. "Are you prepared? This tale is anything but typical. We're embarking on an adventure where feelings intertwine and limits fade away. If this is your first encounter with such a revelation, stay tuned with us. Join us and make sure to stay updated. This tale will astonish you like no other." He paused, weighing his options, before finally taking a seat beside me. He sat in silence for a moment, a youthful unease evident as he rested his hands on his knees. And so he began to weave his tale. "My dad loves me. I can feel it, even as he looks away, words hanging in the air between us. Yet there are moments when I sense a disconnect, as if I am an outsider in his realm." Listening to Oliver express himself in this way caught me off guard. He had a bright disposition, a playful spirit, a young man who appeared to float through life without a care in the world. I was unaware of the depths of the chaos that lay beneath the surface. "That's just how it is," I said. "As you journey through life, transformation is a constant companion. These emotions will pass. You're familiar with your dad, just as you are with me, Oliver." He took a brief pause, then his voice emerged gently, barely above a whisper. "What if I always feel at home with you?" He took a brief pause, then his voice emerged gently, barely above a whisper. "What if I always feel at home with you?" His words lingered, resonating softly in the stillness of the room. A peculiar pressure settled in my chest. My gaze refused to meet his. My heart raced, yet I lacked the bravery to uncover the reason behind it. "Oliver," I said gently, arriving at my room at this hour, "expressing thoughts like that isn't quite fair. Perhaps you just need a moment to yourself." "If I don't want to be alone," he replied without hesitation. His voice carried a challenge, yet it resonated with an underlying plea. In that instant, I realized it was time to gather my strength. "Listen closely," I insisted, my voice taking on a more resolute tone. "In moments like these, it's important to hold on to what is true and just. As your stepmom, I find myself in this unique position, engaging in this dialogue with you." My words faded into silence as he turned to meet my gaze. His eyes conveyed a heartbreaking blend of fragility, longing, and trepidation. Andrea, he said, and the sound of my name on his lips sent a thrill coursing through me. I never wanted to feel that this was a mistake. Yet, as I reflect on you, I find myself lost in a maze of confusion, unable to grasp the reality of it all. That was the moment I should have intervened. I could have stepped in, urged him to step out of the room. Yet I held back, for in that gaze, I found myself facing my own emotions as well. In the soft glow of the room, Oliver's features were illuminated. His expression lingered in a delicate balance, reflecting the innocence of youth intertwined with the intricate layers of adulthood. "May I join you for a slumber here?" he inquired gently. In that fleeting instant, I found myself utterly speechless. I hesitated to delve into the significance of his words. I ought to have viewed him merely as a bewildered young soul in search of guidance. With a deep breath, I steadied myself, embracing the calm within. "Of course," I replied softly. "If it brings you comfort, you're welcome to stay here." He gently settled onto the opposite side of the bed, as if preparing for a tale to unfold in the quiet of the night. I wrapped the blanket snugly around myself, seeking comfort and stability. A flutter of anxiety stirred within me, yet I kept it at bay. In the end, I held the role of his stepmother. He was merely a young lad of 19. In search of a diversion, I picked up my phone. A message arrived from Dale. "It looks like tonight will be spent at the office as I dive into a long night of work." The moment I read that message, a wave of discomfort washed over me. If Dale were present, I would effortlessly envision how this scenario could unfold. Yet here we are. I needed to delve into Oliver's feelings and react appropriately. "How are you doing?" I inquired, glancing over at him. As he spoke, a sense of calm washed over him, and he shared, "Being here with you makes me feel okay." His voice resonated with a depth that took me by surprise. We lingered in quietude for a moment, lost in our thoughts. I found myself echoing the same thoughts over and over. He's merely a child. I want to support him as he navigates this challenging time. Suddenly, I sensed a shift and it took me by surprise. Oliver leaned in closer from behind. He gently placed an arm around me, his fingers brushing softly against my back. My heart began to race, yet I remained motionless. "Oliver," I softly called out, "what tales are you weaving?" With a straightforward tone, he remarked, "I'm cold." Yet there was an undertone in his voice that suggested it transcended mere chilliness. I inhaled deeply. I had to approach this with care. In his youth, he found himself caught in a whirlwind of emotions, grappling with the confusion that surrounded him. This must have been pure and simple, don't you think? As I lay there, unmoving, I found myself weaving tales to convince my mind of that truth. The intimacy I experienced was stirring turmoil within me. My heart raced as a whirlwind of thoughts swirled in my mind, each one vying for attention, yet none finding a clear path. I repeatedly reminded myself that it was time to put an end to this, yet I found myself unable to budge. "Andrea," he murmured, his voice resonating within me like a wave I couldn't resist. Oliver's arm wrapped securely around my waist. His warm breath whispered softly against my neck. With my eyes shut tight, I delved into the depths of my mind, searching for a path forward. A tempest was brewing within my soul. This is merely a sweet connection, isn't it? I found myself in a constant battle of persuasion within my own mind. As his breaths became steady and rhythmic, it dawned on me that he had drifted off into slumber. Yet, for me, slumber remained an elusive dream. My heart raced with such intensity that it seemed to resonate throughout the entire space. There was a storm brewing within me, a tempest of frustration directed at my own reflection. What is it about this that resonates with me so deeply? What is causing this tension within me? Yet, the recognition of his youthful spirit, his vibrant energy, it stirred a sense of discomfort within me. This intimacy, this must have been pure and untainted. Eventually, as my mind wandered through a maze of reflections, fatigue enveloped me, and I found myself drifting away as well. As the first rays of sunlight gently brushed against the room, I slowly opened my eyes, ready to embrace the day ahead. A gentle pressure rested upon my arm. Oliver remained in the depths of slumber. His face radiated tranquility, reminiscent of a child's pure innocence. But that's when I understood that what disturbed me wasn't solely the purity. It was the intricate layers hidden within. With a gentle motion, I eased my arm and rose from the comfort of my bed. As I stood there, I cast a look back at him. He stood with a commanding presence, his height accentuated by broad shoulders and strikingly defined features. It was fascinating to observe the transformation he underwent since our initial encounter. I softly murmured to myself, "He's come so far, far more mature than I ever imagined." A spark of something awakened within me, a blend of embarrassment intertwined with an unsettling realization I hesitated to acknowledge. I brushed it aside, swiftly donning a light jacket over my nightgown and stepping out of the room. As I descended the stairs, I inhaled deeply, savoring the moment. Embrace the day as if it were any other, I reminded myself. In search of a diversion, I made my way to the kitchen. Preparing breakfast felt like an ideal opportunity to engage my hands and thoughts in a delightful way. Yet, my mind continually returned to Oliver, resting above. His sleeping face, his presence, it all danced in my mind, weaving a tapestry of unease. I found myself repeating the same thoughts again and again. It was merely a fleeting instant that was misinterpreted. All is well. This is pure and untainted. I won't exaggerate the situation. As I entered the kitchen, the aroma of possibilities filled the air as I began to prepare breakfast. The gentle hum of the coffee machine filled the air, yet my thoughts remained captivated by the image of Oliver upstairs. I needed to gather my thoughts and find my strength. "Everything is perfectly managed. Just breathe easy," I murmured to my inner self. In that moment, Dale's voice caught me off guard. "Good morning, darling," he greeted, stepping into the room with a weary expression. In that fleeting moment, I found myself paralyzed, caught in a web of uncertainty about my next move. I swiftly conjured a grin. "Good morning," I responded. Dale approached and gently pressed his lips against my cheek. His proximity only heightened my unease. "The aroma in this space is delightful. Is the morning feast nearly prepared?" he inquired, brimming with joy. "It won't be long now," I exclaimed, my voice rising in pitch more than I expected. As Dale exited the kitchen, he glanced back and spoke over his shoulder. "I'll settle in the living room until that time comes. I'm completely drained." As he made his way to the living room, a wave of anxiety surged within me. Imagine if he ascends the stairs and discovers Oliver in the room. What should I express? How can I share this in a way that resonates? As Dale's footsteps echoed through the hallway, I exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of the moment settle around me. For the moment, he was staying put, not venturing upstairs. I hurriedly arranged the breakfast table, though my hands shook with anticipation. I was trying my hardest to keep everything under wraps from Dale. As I peeked into the living room, there he was, sprawled out on the couch, drifting off to sleep in the blink of an eye. The gentle rhythm of his breathing wrapped around me like a comforting tale, offering a moment of solace. For the moment, I felt a sense of security wash over me. Yet it failed to soothe the restlessness within me. The current situation cannot continue in this manner. I have a task that requires my attention. As I set the coffee cup down on the table, a whirlwind of thoughts danced in my mind. Oliver remained upstairs, while Dale was present here. I found myself in a position where I had to steer the course of events in my favor. But how do we go about it? As the sun began to rise, casting a warm glow through the windows, Oliver quietly entered the kitchen, where Dale remained lost in dreams. As we gathered around the breakfast table, I couldn't shake the feeling that the casual smile on his face held a deeper story, one that stirred something within me. My grip on the coffee cup grew firmer, and I made an effort to engage with his lively conversation as effortlessly as possible. "You look absolutely stunning today, Andrea," he remarked unexpectedly, his voice brimming with confidence, far beyond what one would expect from someone his age. My gaze drifted toward him, almost instinctively. It seemed as if he had a tale to share, yet chose to keep it to himself. "Thank you, Oliver," I said, striving to maintain a composed and even tone. A moment of stillness hung in the air. He began to prod the eggs on his plate with his fork, then remarked, "I hope your day's not too hectic. If you ever find yourself in need of assistance, feel free to reach out." His expression held a weight of seriousness, yet the way he spoke sent a ripple of discomfort through me. "There are far more significant matters to concentrate on at school," I remarked. His words, while courteous, had cast a shadow over my mood. A gentle sigh of relief washed over me as he picked up his bag and made his way to the door. Yet, even in that moment, an unusual sensation remained in my heart. This boy, he's experiencing a unique sensation, isn't he? Once Oliver stepped out, Dale stirred from his slumber around midday. He savored a leisurely breakfast, then prepared himself for the journey to work. Once he departed, a sense of tranquility enveloped the house. That evening, we gathered around the table for a typical family dinner, sharing conversations as if all was well in the world. I went along with it, acting as if this was merely an ordinary day. Yet, as darkness enveloped the world, an unusual unease began to seep in once more. Dale received a phone call that would lead to an unexpected turn of events. Once upon a time, there was a young man named David who found himself in a difficult situation after an accident. He lay in a hospital bed, surrounded by the beeping machines and the soft whispers of nurses, while his best friend worriedly awaited news outside. Dale made the choice to set off immediately. As he prepared to leave, he leaned in and pressed his lips to mine, whispering, "Don't worry, my dear. I'll return at the earliest opportunity." As I accompanied him to the door, I observed his departure, then gently shut the door after him. The weight of solitude wrapped around me in an unexpected way. It was as if the walls were whispering secrets, yet I found myself wrapped in a blanket of solitude. As I stepped back into the bedroom, I lingered at the threshold. My gaze wandered to the lock. Should I secure it? Imagine a scenario where Oliver, what if he returns to this place once more? I shook my head, attempting to break free from the haze. "Enough, Andrea. He's merely a child. What makes you ponder in this way?" Yet, despite my efforts to push it away, the idea lingered in my mind, refusing to fade. I nestled into bed, drawing the delicate sheet around me, seeking a sense of comfort and security. As I shut my eyes, a world of imagination unfolded within me. Yet, the discomfort lingered on. The evening unfolded like a tapestry of moments, silent and serene. Yet, there are moments when quietude resonates as the most formidable danger of all. Oliver emerged in my thoughts, striding toward me with a resolute expression on his face. As I became aware of his proximity, a chill coursed through my body. In the depths of my thoughts, a whirlwind of uncertainty took hold, rising to a peak where, for a fleeting instant, I found myself lost in the haze of indecision. "What's going on?" In that instant, Oliver leaned closer, his gaze unwavering as it remained fixed on mine, and I could sense the trepidation and uncertainty reflected in my own. I took a step back, my voice quivering as I began to share my thoughts. "Hold on, Oliver." My voice trembled just a bit, yet the unmistakable hint of fear lingered within it. "I am your stepmother. How could you possibly consider something like this?" Oliver paused, his eyes growing wide with disbelief. His progress came to an unexpected halt. yet the weight of the silence and tension between us grew even more profound. This was unimaginable. It simply couldn't be done. My thoughts were weaving a tangled web of confusion. I gazed at him, and I could sense that my face, a blend of uncertainty and dread, was likely revealing just how disturbed I felt. What could have led him to this conclusion? In that moment, I was adrift, searching for a sense of direction. Oliver exhaled softly, a tremor in his breath, his gaze locked onto mine. With a hesitant movement, he stepped back, putting space between us. Yet the atmosphere was charged, reverberating throughout the entire room. "I have something to share, Oliver," I said, my voice trembling and filled with doubt. "As I gazed at you that morning, peacefully lost in your dreams, a realization washed over me. You've grown up now. You've come such a long way." Though my voice wavered, the emotions within me surged, demanding to be expressed at last. Emotions surged within me, and I fought to articulate my feelings while gazing at him. His gaze was locked onto mine, yet uncertainty lingered in my mind about the next step to take. "It's more than just the number of years you've lived. It's the essence of who you are, the way you carry yourself, the very form you inhabit. You've moved beyond the days of childhood." I pressed on, weaving my jumbled thoughts into a narrative. "I once saw you as a young child, and I welcomed you into my bed without hesitation. Yet, as I reflect on the past, I see how misguided that perspective truly was. Reflecting on it, I realize the perilous situation we found ourselves in for each of us. "I won't share this with your father," I said with a calm yet resolute tone. "You're quite a remarkable young man, and I can only imagine the admiration you receive at college. However, in return for my discretion, you will spend some time with your aunt. It's clear you won't be staying here, right?" Oliver paused, a silence enveloping him as he gradually bowed his head. His eyes were filled with a sense of longing and missed opportunities. "Please don't let Dad know," he whispered, his voice quivering with fear. "I truly apologize. I will visit my aunt, I assure you." His face told a tale of emotions, weaving together fear, regret, and perhaps a hint of emptiness. Yet there was an essence, a feeling that eluded my ability to articulate. Andrea pondered, what if there had been a spark between me and Oliver? What if I had taken a wrong turn in my journey? She inhaled deeply, the thoughts pressing down on her like a heavy cloak. Indeed, his vibrant spirit and youthful exuberance left me feeling bewildered. Text. Regardless of the precautions I took, a fleeting moment of vulnerability or turmoil could have altered the course of events entirely. Yet, I believe I managed it quite effectively. Regardless of the circumstances, my choice was just. For a moment, she nodded to herself, as if replaying the events in her mind once more. All is well. Indeed, it was quite peculiar and demanding, yet the chapter has closed. Oliver embarked on a new chapter with his aunt, and all was well in his world. There was a moment of uncertainty, yet at this point, it seems like all is well in hand. Andrea took a moment to catch her breath, a sense of relief washing over her. In that moment, she whispered to herself, "Everything's fine," as if weaving a tapestry of tranquility around her thoughts. Little did she know what awaited her on the horizon. As the days passed, a sense of calm began to emerge. Initially, Oliver would drop by the house from time to time, yet with each visit, he seemed to embrace a more ordinary demeanor. The atmosphere had shifted, leaving behind any disquieting words or actions from the past. All the pieces appeared to be aligning perfectly once more. As the school holidays approached, the return of Oliver brought a sense of comfort to my days. In that period, he underwent a remarkable transformation. He exhibited a sense of calmness and maturity in his actions. It seemed as though we had journeyed far from those charged times. Oliver's return unfolded like a narrative challenge for Andrea. During those 5 months, She wove a narrative in her mind that everything had to return to its rightful place. And when Oliver returned, a change was unmistakably in the air. He moved through life with a deeper sense of wisdom and tranquility. Gone were the days of peculiar intimacies and awkward interactions. Andrea breathed a sigh of relief as she noticed Oliver returning to his usual self. Everything felt just as it should be, Andrea mused. Oliver has finally grasped the whole picture. He understands the limits and he's come to terms with what is. The weight of that old tension has vanished entirely. Andrea paused, allowing the silence to envelop her before inhaling deeply. Perhaps this was the most fitting resolution, she pondered. As the days passed, everything found its place. At this point, it's simply a typical dynamic between a stepmother and her stepson. For a time, I thought all was well. With my husband Dale away on a week-long business trip, I found myself feeling a sense of relief wash over me. At last, a moment to reflect and wander through my thoughts. A serene setting where I could release the burdens of my mind and find tranquility. Oliver's recent behavior has shown a remarkable level of maturity, and it has truly brought me a sense of comfort. Reluctantly, I had to acknowledge that all our experiences had somehow led us to a more favorable outcome. I believed we had escaped the storm. But that night, it took me by surprise. Once Dale departed, the stillness of the home enveloped me, offering an unexpected tranquility. As I lay in my bed, the gentle embrace of slumber began to weave its way around me, pulling me into a world of dreams. Yet, there was an unsettling feeling in the air. I was completely in the dark about it. In the stillness of the night, I found myself in a deep slumber, only to be stirred awake by an unexpected sound. A door slowly creaked open, and the sound of footsteps echoed as someone approached my room. As I jolted awake, my gaze fell upon a figure shifting in the dim light of the room. For a fleeting instant, it seemed as though my heart had come to a complete halt. Once upon a time, there was a character named Oliver. He found himself in my room, a place where tales unfold and memories linger. He had softly secured the door as he stepped inside. A chilling wave of unease enveloped me. What brings us to this moment? What's the reason behind this? Though clarity eluded me, an unsettling sensation lingered in the air. In moments of silence, I found myself overwhelmed, yet I chose to hold my tongue. I needed to navigate this with great care. Once upon a time, there was a name that echoed through the air. Oliver? I spoke, my voice trembling with apprehension, even as I endeavored to project courage. What brings you to this place? His gaze locked onto mine, and the serenity in his voice only deepened my discomfort. Indeed, Andrea, he remarked, as though this was all perfectly ordinary. I simply wished to share some thoughts. I longed to share moments with you. An electric charge surged within me. What was his intention? What could have prompted such a sudden desire for change? The depth in his gaze left me trembling. He exuded a fierce determination, radiating confidence as if he were poised to transcend every boundary. He moved in a bit, his eyes fixed intently on me. In that moment, every part of me, my heart, pushed back against him. Yet in that moment, he was drawing near, almost too near for comfort. Though I hesitated, a deep-seated urge compelled me to retreat, and I found myself instinctively drawing back. Oliver, please, I urged, the tension in my voice unmistakable. I feel unprepared for what lies ahead. Kindly? Inside, a tempest raged, yet my words emerged calm and unwavering. Tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, a new chapter will unfold. I'll be by your side, but not at this moment. It was a struggle to maintain my composure as I made my way out of the room. My gaze remained fixed on him. My emotions swirled like a tempest, creating a clash of uncertainty and defiance, pushing me away while an unseen force beckoned me nearer. If you're eager to discover what unfolds next and wish to immerse yourself in more tales like this, be sure to subscribe. Activate notifications to ensure you catch every new episode as it unfolds. Your support and engagement truly matter to me. They ignite my passion for crafting narratives. I'd love to hear about the country you're joining us from as well. I'm eager to hear more. Keep your ears open for the unfolding tale ahead. It's on the horizon.